We naturally organize our failures into a hierarchy, placing major crimes at the peak and minor everyday habits at the base. This mental curve convinces us only top-tier sins are offensive. Because the wide base feels so light, we assume those habits are harmless. We grant a free pass to the most common habit at the bottom of this curve: gossip. To keep it comfortable, we rename it. We call it venting, processing, or just keeping people in the loop. While we normalize these conversations, the Bible presents a different reality. It describes a God who keeps track of every single word we speak, regardless of how we've labeled it. This creates a massive friction. If talking about others is a standard social lubricant, why does the Bible treat our casual conversations with such severity? The truth is that our human metric for measuring the weight of our words is flawed. We've built a scale that blinds us to the actual spiritual cost of our speech. To identify gossip, you only need one diagnostic test. If the person being talked about would be uncomfortable hearing the conversation, you've crossed the line. Proverbs 11:13 defines this act as the betrayal of a confidence. When we share what was meant to be private, we trade another person's dignity for a moment of social attention. This visualizes why we find gossip so addictive. These nodes represent social groups, and gossip acts as a rapid adhesive. Sharing exclusive information creates an immediate, visceral sense of belonging. This is a counterfeit connection. It builds intimacy at the exclusive expense of someone else. The bond feels real in the moment, but because it's rooted in betrayal, the entire network begins to corrode from the inside out. This counterfeit is particularly dangerous because our culture treats it as a standard way to relate to one another. It's a habit that provides connection without requiring any actual character or integrity. We have convinced ourselves that cheap social validation is worth the price of our spiritual integrity. To see what God sees, we have to watch our personal moral scale shatter. In the first chapter of Romans, the Bible lists gossip right alongside murder and hatred. It refuses to categorize our small talk as anything less than a serious offense. James 2:10 explains the logic behind this grouping. It states that if you keep the whole law but stumble at just one point, you are guilty of breaking all of it. Because breaking one link renders the entire chain useless, the specific link that failed becomes irrelevant. This is why the Bible rejects the idea of a moral curve. Since every sin produces the same result, separation, the concept of a ranking system for sin effectively disappears. Whether an action is culturally acceptable or socially taboo, its spiritual function is identical. It creates distance between you and God.
In this light, gossip isn't
A minor interpersonal slip,
It is a direct spiritual severing,
carrying
the same weight
as the darkest crimes we imagine. The ultimate danger is not
not the habit itself, but the silent, expanding distance.
it creates in your relationship with God while you aren't paying attention.
But this standard isn't
Meant to keep you in fear. God isn't keeping a tally to condemn you. He is waiting for you to bridge that distance. The cure is found in 1 John 1:9. It promises that if we confess these habits, He is faithful and just to forgive us and purify us from all unrighteousness. This forgiveness is a guarantee. It is the very reason God sacrificed everything to close the gap created by our words. This requires a brutally honest audit. Look at your conversations from the last 24 hours and ask how much of your connection was built on the betrayal of others. Stop relying on counterfeit connections. Bring those habits into the light
and trust that God's grace is sufficient.
to cover every word on your list.